Good morning. Well, it's morning where I am, and welcome to another daily creativity. This is number 6 on the 6th of May, and I'm coming to you live every day this month to hopefully inspire you in some sort of way regarding scrapbooking. So my focus is on scrapbooking because May is National Scrapbooking Month, with a National Scrapbooking Day smack bang in the middle of it. If you have missed any of the previous versions, please feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is Cre8 with an 8, It with Charlotte Burns, or feel free to have a look around this page, my Facebook page. My name is Charlotte Burns, and that's why that's my YouTube channel name. And I'm really excited today to show you something that is super important to me, and hopefully you will see the importance of it as well. And that is preserving your photos. So a photo is a memory. So realistically, what we're doing is we're preserving memories as well. Now, this is a very old photo album that I have had for many years. I'm not even going to guess how many years I've had, but inside of this, I had a ton of photos, and it was a really important photo album to me, as all photo albums are. But this photo album represented a very big transition for me when I was 19 years old. Anyway, I was around that age, and I moved from Victoria to Queensland with my dad, and it was all the photos that I took of that trip, as well as where we ended up, which was Lazy Acres Caravan Park up in Queensland. We also called it Crazy Acres, but I had them stored in this album. And in between each of these flaps, when you bought the album way back when, was a piece of paper, and then it went into this plastic flap, and you'd flip it up, and you can see that I've emptied this album. Now, I did that yesterday because I was actually looking for a photo. I had a page idea and I was looking for a photo, and I thought maybe there'll be something in here, and I was flicking through, and anyway. So I emptied this album. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, but this paper here has got this horrible brown all the way around it, and that was up against my photos. So when I pulled my photos out of this album, all of them, and here's just a couple of them, what I found was on the back of the photos, and again, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this very well, but the back of the photos, there was this horrible brown line, which also didn't quite come through to the front, but some of them it did even come through to the front. I mean, look at that. I've even stuck a sticker on the photo, which in a way is bad, really bad. I wouldn't do that now, but in a way is good because it tells me exactly where that caravan park was. So what I wanted to talk to you about was storing your photos. So if you have your photos in an album that does not have acid-free paper, what's going to happen is that acid is going to eat away at your photos wherever it comes into contact with it, and it's going to destroy your photos over time. Also, if you put stickers on there that are not acid-free, that too could affect your photos. Now, it doesn't look like that one does. I could chuck this photo out. Yep, no worries. But if I look really closely, this van here is the van that we used to travel up to Queensland with. If it was just this photo, it's like, oh, yep, that's a caravan, big deal. You know, I've got a photo of the inside of the caravan. Yeah, whatever, big deal. But right at the edge here, I don't know if you can see that, that's my dad, and he's no longer with us anymore. So this photo ends up becoming a really important photo for me because I don't have many photos of my dad, and he did an epic journey. And looking through these photos again, it just reminded me, you know, of the trip. Yes, I'm getting a bit choked up, of the trip, and it was an amazing journey, and just all the things that my dad did for me. So if you have photos like that, and it may be in an album such as this one, I don't know, let me know if you've got an album like this one. Would never buy one of them again. Or it could even be an album like this. So this one, oh, isn't it such a pretty cover? You know, and it's been sitting on my shelf gathering dust. But have a look at the color of these. That is yellowed. Now, that has not been sitting in the sun. That is yellowed because of the acid and the lignin and the horrid stuff in that adhesive. This is one of your, you know, your regular, let me see if I can open this up under the camera. Yes, okay. So such important photos and memories and everything. But when we pull these out, hopefully I'll be able to, when we pull these out, yes, awesome. Okay, so this one is coming out and some of these don't come out. It's really important, guys, if you have photos in these magnetic albums, get them out, okay? Because, again, this one has got that line around the outside. It's getting yucky. This photo over here has faded. That would have been a dark photo for sure, absolutely dark photo, but it wouldn't have been that dark when I put it in the album. I'm going to try and get that. This has faded over time, and I've seen photos go yellow in these albums. So this is my next project, is to get my photos out of albums. I've been saying it for years and years and years, to get the photos out of the albums and onto some safe paper. Well, I've finally got time now, and that is my project. So I'm loving National Scrapbooking Month because I'm going to do lots and lots of scrapbooking. One thing I had done with my photos, I think I showed you in one of the previous videos, is I'd taken all my photos out of albums and I'd put them into these storage containers. Now these are great, you know, they store lots of photos. The issue that I have is I then put them on my shelf and they were just sitting there. So what I've started to do is I've started to put them onto pages, no pattern paper behind them. I'm just tacking them onto pages because I'm looking at these now and I'm seeing patterns that I can do and journaling that I can do. And I think that I'm going to get more motivated with this style of scrapbooking. It's up to you what you do. Let me move on for another tip. And I wanted to show you this beauty here. It's called a photo trimmer. It's brought to you by Fiskars. It's great not just for the scrapbookers, and even if you're not a scrapbooker, just consider pulling your photos out of those horrible albums that are destroying your photos. Put a little bit of a memory next to it for the people that come after you. You know, your kids, if you don't have kids, your friends, they might like to flip through your album and learn something about you. You know, when I was 18 years old, I travelled to Queensland with my dad, and this is my dad. Anyway, I digress. Warning, okay? They can trigger a lot of emotions, photos. So don't be surprised if you're going through your photos and you find that you get a bit emotional, like I am a little bit at the moment. I might just pick this one up because that's got no emotion behind it. All right, so if you ever want to scrapbook with someone to share your journey, you know, your photos, please give me a bell. So what do you do about photos where you've got just this tiny little strip around the outside that's degraded? Again, you might not be able to see that, but that's got this, it's just a very fine strip. And here we go, card makers. This little duvalaki here, I call it my choppy, and you'll see why in a minute. This is fantastic because you can take the smallest slither, you know, if you stuck something down onto a piece of cardstock and it's not quite straight and you just want to adjust it slightly, all you have to do is pop it in this little baby, line it up. I'm just going to take the smallest slither off the edge of this because I don't want to reduce the size of my photo. I'm going to do that, and look, that is how small I could take off just to take that edge off, and I now have a nice clean edge to my photo. So I'm going to do it to the other side as well, and it is so quick and easy. And can you see why I call it a choppy? Because it does chop chop. It's such a cool noise. So just a couple of snips. I think that's like, okay, if I just do a measurement. So remembering that inches come in eighths, that's like probably 1/32th of an inch. Write that down for me. Okay, so as I mentioned, great for card makers, this little tool here. You can find that online on my website, but also for your scrapbookers if you need to straighten something up or chop it. You can also chop photos, you know, fully chop them down to size if you want. I use the same tool on this page here. So that's travelling up to Queensland, and this is once we got to Crazy Acres, and I'd love to know if Crazy Acres still exists actually. Once we got to Crazy Acres, these are some of the wildlife that I used to enjoy. Wildlife, totally wild, this horse here. And I've chopped these into squares. So this measures out to 4 inches and does fit 6 inches. So you can measure, you know, chop your photos down to 4 by 4 or whatever size you like. All right, that is it for today. I hope that you have learnt something, picked up something, been inspired. I will be bringing more to you tomorrow. Remember to check out my YouTube channel. It's got lots of other tips, tricks, and techniques. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. If you didn't like it, you can always give it an angry face or whatever. Ask questions and I will come back to you. Good morning to Trudy and Ruth. Thank you so much, Trudy. Please do pull your old albums out and get those photos out of the albums. Even if you just get some white cardstock, make sure it's acid-free, lignin-free, buffered. They're the 3 top ones, acid-free, lignin-free, and buffered that I'm aware of. So good quality white cardstock for scrapbooking is what you need to put your photos on, and also an acid-free adhesive. All right, any questions, feel free to ask, and I will check back in the comments later. But for now, stay safe, keep crafting, and bye-bye.